Hi guys, Mike Likanerek. It is Tuesday, and Tuesday is Double Tap Tuesday. Let me get my MCT oils here. Alright, this is how it goes. This Double Tap Tuesday is related to what happened here this last weekend here in South Florida. This last weekend, we had the Legacy A to Z Haganah Gandhi Psalms certification, instructor certification here in South Florida. Over 20 people came from all over the country. I had people here from California, Texas, Pennsylvania, New Jersey, Florida, obviously, and it was a blast. Okay, why did I call this the Legacy Gandhi Psalm certification? What I did is I let in one guy. His name is Sami Mawardi. He's Israeli. Sami Mawardi, that's been with me for 1 year only. 1 year only here, my student in South Florida. All the way up to people that have been with me for 20 years, like Godzilla and Susan were here from Okeechobee, Florida, and they have been my students for 20 years. So you got a guy that's been with me for 1 year, and people who have been with me for 20 years, and everybody in between has that for Legacy. Okay, so that's why I called it Legacy. Haganah has been around for a long time. What is it called? A Legacy Gandhi Psalm. First, we had Gen 1. Gen 1 Gandhi Psalm is basically what was in the original Fight DVD. So when I say Fight Gen 1, that means that's from that time. Like I have instructors that got certified many years ago, and they're Fight Gen 1. Are they Fight Gen 1 instructor? Absolutely. Have they not evolved since then? Absolutely as well. Then we had Gen 2. Gen 2 was the time of the nucleus. Around the time of the nucleus, the school in the warehouse in Davie upgraded techniques, and it became Gen 2. So I relate that to the time of the nucleus, so that's Fight Gen 2. And finally, last year, the conference, I upgraded everything to 13B. 13B means the 13th annual conference for Haganah, and B stands for baseline. Okay, also, I brought in the word legacy because in the last 2 years, I've been teaching a lot of military units, law enforcement units, active shooter, tactical responder, includes Gandhi Psalm, includes also obviously shooting, and I attached that to this certification, and that's why it's called the Double Tap. Okay, Double Tap is always two things that either configure it together and complement each other, or two things that contradict each other. So this time, obviously, it's the one that complement each other. Okay, this weekend, the first 4 hours was the Fight 13B Gandhi Psalms. We covered all 13 Gandhi Psalms of the Fight 13B curriculum. Then on Saturday afternoon, we did active shooter friendly crowd Gandhi Psalms. Okay, how do you do a Gandhi Psalm in the middle of a crowd while there's an active shooter? We covered both with handgun, and we covered both with assault rifle, more with assault rifle because that's what is being used more in active shooter scenarios here in America. So that's how to manipulate the fields of fire so bystanders don't get shot. So that was a second session on Saturday. Then Sunday morning was a very special session. I did Gandhi Psalm in a hostile crowd. Okay, hostile crowd means you're the only good guy in a very bad crowd. In other words, you're on terrorists, you're on criminals, you're on people who want you dead, and for some reason, you ended up there, okay? So you're about to do a Gandhi Psalm, and that is about the last thing you're gonna do in your life. In other words, you're about to die, all right? So the mentality is, I'm gonna do a Gandhi Psalm, I'm gonna try to take as many with me as possible, and I'm gonna die fighting instead of dying like just getting executed, okay? In that session, I taught a couple techniques that I've never taught in America. Ed Duplessis loved it. Ed Duplessis loved it. He's like, oh, motherfucker, I love this shit, right? So that's what we did on Sunday morning for 4 hours. So that's 12 hours, all Gandhi Psalms, A to Z. All the Gandhi Psalms that are in our system, including third-party Gandhi Psalms, VIP bodyguard Gandhi Psalms, hostile crowd, friendly crowds, 13B, all the basics. So for 12 hours, we covered everything. Okay, now here comes the Double Tap. My partner Randy used to say a long time ago, it is irresponsible to teach somebody a gun disarm without teaching them how to shoot with a gun. Because as soon as the gun is in your possession, you have just found yourself in a gunfight. And if you're in a gunfight and you just took the gun out of the gun disarm and you don't know what to do with it, you are more of a danger to yourself or to the people you're trying to protect than the danger to the bad guys, okay? So then we started teaching people how to shoot with handgun, and the first generation was ICS. It was in the DVDs, Israeli Combat Shooting, and then Garrett came apart and he designed the IPTT handgun program, and so and so. So what happened in the last couple of years, I've been traveling all over the country as usual, and I'm teaching in Pennsylvania, I'm teaching in New Jersey, I'm teaching in Texas, and I'm starting to see that different Haganah schools are kind of like doing dry fire handgun different. Some people are sliding, some people are not sliding. And when I say sliding, tactical slide when they deploy. Some people are not. Some people are holding the gun this way now, which was a big no-no a few years ago. It's supposed to be this way. So I decided to standardize the Israeli combat shooting dry fire for all the Haganah schools across the board. And over 20 people came here. Like I said, people from California, Texas, Pennsylvania, this and that. Ryan was here from California. Edu Plessis and Victor were here from Pennsylvania. Then we had Eddie Diaz come from Texas, Mike Smith from Texas, with his wife Kim, and Chris Lohman. So I had Godzilla here. We had people from all over the country, okay? So I standardized the dry fire, and at the end of the dry fire I adopted a concept that's called the dark horse. There is one drill called the dark horse now. It's an official drill in Haganah that includes all the basics of Israeli combat shooting dry fire. So if you know that drill, you basically, I know if I tell you show me the dark horse and you can do it flawlessly, I know you can do all the basics, all the pivots, all the jams, all the magazine changes that are in our system. So that's the dark horse. If you're a student nationwide, ask your instructor, can you teach me the dark horse? If he can't teach you the dark horse, that means he wasn't here and sucks to be you. In other words, your instructor is not up to legacy level. Anyway, great weekend. That's the double tap for today. If you do gun disarms, you should be able to use that gun if you need to use that gun. A lot of people always ask, how come Israelis don't keep a bullet in the chamber? It's connected to the gun disarms. It's connected to gun retention. If I'm walking in the middle of Tel Aviv in Israel and I don't have a bullet in the chamber and a terrorist grabs my guns and tries to shoot me, there's no bullet in the chamber, it gives me the time to do a gun disarm, and from there I have to rack it Israeli style to be able to use it. Therefore, that it's connected to our environment, that's connected to our culture, and that's connected to our muscle memory. Double Tap Tuesday, guys. We had a great weekend here. It was awesome. The energy was great. Great group of people, full house, lots of training, non-stop training. You're talking 16 hours non-stop training. It was great. Double Tap Tuesday, go get it. And by the way, the people that are doing the 2.0 50-day barely made the cut, it is only day 2 and them fuckers are already walking like ducks. I gave them yesterday a workout. They're already walking like ducks. Guys, it's only day 2. There's 48 more days, 3 workouts a week. I'm gonna kick your fucking ass. Guys, Double Tap Tuesday. Have a good one. Movement is life.